Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Fitzgerald Hyundai, and guess what? I have finally tracked one down. Everybody's been asking me. This is a 2016 Hyundai Genesis Coupe. But before we dive into this car, let's talk about what is going on with it here. So in 2010, Hyundai decided to build the Genesis Coupe. It actually sits on the same platform as the Genesis sedan, the Hyundai Genesis sedan. What it was all about was rear-wheel drive performance in a two-door sports car style package. It really was meant to be a competitor to go up against the Mustang GT, the Chevrolet Camaro. And what's really sad was that they had a great start and then they kind of just let it go near the end. Now what's fascinating is that, remember, in 2015, the Genesis brand was created, and now that's something totally separate from Hyundai. A lot of people, we're gonna do two things with this video. A lot of people are trying to wonder, will Genesis produce a coupe in their lineup? And with this video, should they produce a Genesis Coupe? And also, is this car a really great performance car for the money in an attractive package? We're gonna find that out. Let's dive into this 2016 Hyundai Genesis Coupe. This one has the V6. You could also get an inline-4 turbocharged engine. Right off the bat, the styling. They really were on to something in 2010 with the styling. Now this one being a 2016 is, guess what? End of the road. The car was killed off after 2016, and by then they had done a refresh. Now I wasn't a big fan of the refresh as much as the original, but let's see what you got going on here. So you can see in 2016, the large headlight housing. You do have a projector beam style headlight. A little bit of chrome in there. This was one of those changes I really wasn't the largest fan of, but you know what? Seeing it sitting here, especially this cream puff, it's only got about 30,000 miles on it. It actually fits well with the front of the business. Now when you toggle down, you're gonna have your LED lighting and then your lower fog lamp. We're gonna zonk this area here. You do have a fake vent area, and this is another thing that changed on that refresh. Now when we come across the open front area here, somebody put an actual Genesis Coupe badge. That was something that was very popular and is still popular to do. Normally you would have the Hyundai logo here, but flat black, functional for the radiator up front. And then I do like the way they have this split level with a little bit of a lip spoiler down below. Now going up onto the hood, great lines. You have these two body lines that rise up and go into the fake heat extractors. You know what we're gonna do? We're zonking these. These were added. I feel like they should not have put these when they did the refresh, but still the lines are very, very attractive, especially for a car 4 years old. Now, when you come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. Check it out. This is before they started putting performance brakes on the N model Veloster that we have here at Fitzgerald. That's a 4-piston, bright red Brembo caliper. You have 19-inch wheels. I love almost has like a nice brushed aluminum look to it. Over 13-inch ventilated rotors up front. It's gonna give you some nice braking capability. And like I said, the best part is this has a V6 and it's rear-wheel drive. So let that tail end swing out. We go down in the fender, clean body line, no fake vents, no stuck-on garbage. You have a nice body line that goes into the belt line. Color-matched mirror caps, very, very large turn signals on those mirrors. This one has a sunroof, which I know a lot of people like to have that in their sports car, sports coupe setup. I think one of my favorite things with the design is the way you have this lower body line that goes into the rear fender. Kind of all flows together from what was happening at the front. Large quarter window here with a unique little dip going on. And then as we work our way back, you get a shark fin antenna into the hatchback design. Nice, large, but not too big rear spoiler. This is a functional piece. When we get to the tail end, you once again see the Genesis badge. This was something that was added by the previous owner. Those are the revised taillights. In 2016, those even looked a little dated in 2016. They look a little bit more dated now, but the great news is we got the one with the 3.8 dual exhaust, one exhaust opening on each side. They are like a vacuum style, but I do like the way they're slash cut and they do fit into this low bumper area very, very cleanly. There's no rear diffuser or anything like that. And you have your Genesis Coupe badge. So overall, nice clean design. Let's pop the hood and take a look at that 3.8 liter V6. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a hood strut. Check out the massive strut tower brace. It's interesting because Hyundai was really at a turning point during this time period. They were really starting to get their legs and start picking up speed and momentum, but they weren't where they're at now with the whole N branding. I want them to bring this car back so bad, whether it's a Genesis, whether it's a Hyundai, but underneath the engine cover is not the sexiest, but like I said, it is a V6, 3.8 liter V6, 348 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. You get your choice. This is almost like the Burger King of cars. You get to have it your way. 6-speed manual or 8-speed automatic. The car weighs around 3,500 pounds, 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. Some people, if they do it right, could get 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. MPGs, 17 in the city, 24 on the highway. And what's wonderful is that from a driving standpoint, the wheels and tires are staggered. So what that means is you do have 19-inch wheels front and back. The 19-inch wheels up front are a little bit more narrow. That's going to give you quicker steering. And with that strut tower brace, that gives you a little bit better stiffness. It's all about feedback. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this V6 and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2016 Hyundai Genesis Coupe. It's such an interesting car, especially I know a lot of people kind of forgot about it, and I'm hoping that it comes back. I know you're at that point, you're like, Joe, this would be a great first car for me. Maybe I just want something a little sporty that's not so expensive. How much is this one? With only 35,000 miles, you're looking, they have it marked at $21,500. This is a one-owner car, and it comes pre-certified. If you're gonna get one, this is probably one of the ones to get, especially if you don't want a manual. But let's see what you get for the price. Door panel wise, I like the way it's all soft touch across the top there. A lot of dark material, but at least it's soft. A little bit of silver. Very interesting way that they put the placement of the switch gear for your windows and your door locks. A little bit of silver on that door handle pull. I like the leather material with the stitching. The zonk is that door pocket is very small, very tight. You're only going to be able to put maybe a chalupa or maybe two. This one has the optional Infinity sound system. If you notice, the dash is very far forward, opens everything up. Nice and soft. You got the simulated stitching. This is hard, but you're not really going to be touching that. Remember, let's compare apples to apples. So you have a 7-inch infotainment system screen. It is a touch screen. That is your navigation. Not too shabby for a car that is 4 years old. You have your CD player here where you can rock out the Pearl Jam. They give you some auxiliary gauges, and it's interesting because two of them don't make any sense to me. So you have a fuel consumption gauge, which is analog, a torque gauge, which is analog, and then an oil temp gauge, which is analog. Oil temp, good. These two, that's a double zonk. Give me a voltmeter, give me maybe oil pressure. I think that would have made a lot more sense than these other. These are kind of two gimmicky Mickey Mouse gauges. Genesis Coupe badge looks good here in case you forget what car you have. You have your climate control, single, not dual climate, just regular. You got your blower, fan switch, your temperature switch. Look at this, 2016, USB, aux jack, and a 12 volt. We've been in some 2020s, they don't even have that. You have your AC controls, easy to get to. Heated seats, no ventilated seats, no backup camera. Because remember, 2016, they were not required by law. This is gonna control that 8-speed automatic transmission. I like this material, this like gunmetal gray. The gloss black, it looks a little too cheap. Key fob, there's your Hyundai key fob, tasteful. It's got the bugle on the back where you can play taps when you're freaking out. 2 cup holders, you got your e-brake wrapped in leather. This is like a semi-hard to hard armrest, but I like the stitch work. Open it up, you got a 12 volt, and then you're gonna have to like lay your Twinkies vertically facing you and your passenger, and maybe only put 6 because you're gonna probably squish it, get cream everywhere, and this is a cream puff. You don't want any more cream in it. Seats are great. Leather, love the perforated design. Bolstering is nice, and the wear is really fantastic. Now, manual control for the passenger, but the good news is driver gets a combo of electric with a manual back. Got that standard size sunroof, and you have an auto dimming mirror with the home link and a compass. I'm not gonna zonk it because it has a thicker frame. This is 2016. Come over the business end though, I wanna show you behind the wheel of this Genesis Coupe. All right, guys, business time. I like the way they have the nice Genesis sill plate here. You even have brushed aluminum. Look at that. Nice large dead pedal, nice size brake pedal and throttle, all brushed aluminum. It's the little touches, especially on the dead pedal, which is nice. Like I promised you, you had power assist on the bottom, non-power on the back, and then steering wheel. It's a pretty good thickness. I wish it was a little thicker. Buttons are all there. Remember, 2016, so I'm not gonna zonk the overall style of it. These paddles, though, are kind of stupid, I have to admit. They are wide up here, so they're wide here, but then they get skinny. They should be wide back here so that you could use more than just one finger as you're shifting up and down that 8-speed automatic transmission. And of course, they're plastic, and they feel like they're plastic. Gauges, simple, clean. They have the backlit LED gauges. I like the way they bring the fuel gauge digital and also your temp gauge in the center of both of those. And then you have another small digital display back there. Looks like you're playing Pac-Man from 1988. But remember, this is 2016 car, although I wish it was just a little cleaner. But why don't we check out the back seat? I know you're gonna ask, so I'm gonna do it. Can you fit a grown person in the back seat of a Genesis Coupe? All right, guys, back seat time. Got the seat all the way forward. The great news is you got plenty of room. Look at this. Climbing on in, not too bad. I'm gonna slide on in. This is where it's bad. You see how my head is bent over like this? This is actually pretty uncomfortable. I'm gonna have to do like a little sexy pose here to talk to you. But anyways, we're in the back seat, and if you're over 4 feet tall, you're probably not gonna enjoy this. This is just something to get me to the movie theater or to get me to the store. I don't wanna sit back here. The nice thing is it's all leather. It's just not a bunch of room. But why don't we see how much room we have in the trunk of this Genesis Coupe? All right, guys, trunk time. Real simple to open. Lift it up. You got nice hydraulic struts to hold it open. And you can see the opening is a little tight, but you know what? Once you shimmy it past, you could fold down the seats, which is gonna allow you a little bit more flexibility. But remember, this is a sports coupe, and you're looking at 10 cubic feet of space. That's what you're working with. I do like the way they have, real simple. You pull the lever, that allows you to put that seat down. But why don't we go ahead? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this Genesis Coupe for a spin. All right, guys, we left Fitzgerald Hyundai. We're in the 2016 Hyundai Genesis Coupe with that V6. Obviously, it's an automatic, so we just have it in drive, but on throttle, 8-speed drops down, and we're off and running. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna be pleasantly pleased with the kind of power that this engine delivers. It's not mind-blowing, but if they just would have kept developing it, this really would have been such a standout today. And with this 2016 being the last year, I think that you're gonna be able to get a car that is unique. You don't see these very often, and they drive really nice, especially this one. In the cabin, everything makes sense. I mean, the navigation is very smartly placed. The whole infotainment system is smartly placed. And you have a ton of room in here, which is great. Back seat, not so much, but that's not the purpose of this car. Steering wheel, I just wish it was a little thicker, but whoever owned this car previously took very, very good care of it. And there's no shakes, rattles, or creaks coming out of it, which is great. Let's go ahead and see how the brakes do. I'm gonna get on throttle, on those Brembos. Pedal feels good. Look at this. Nice, on throttle. Remember, rear wheel drive gets the power down, which is nice. Visibility out the front is phenomenal. Back, even with the spoiler, it works great. You see the spoiler just enough to let you know it's there, but it's not blocking your view really. Side mirrors, very functional. All you have in front of you is your tach, your speedometer, and then those auxiliary gauges that are LED lit. Very simple. And these seats are comfy. Not high on bolstering, but definitely comfort, and it's nice to have full leather. They really have worn very, very well. All right, guys, on throttle again. Transmission drops down very quickly, shifts are smooth. Good sound, and I'm telling you, she picks up steam very, very quick. That 0 to 60, definitely gonna be that 4.9 5-second flat 0 to 60. No qualms about that. Steering feel is really, really good. Of course, I would like a little bit more, but remember, I mean, yes, this car is 4 years old, but technically the design itself is 10 years old. and it's really aged well. I really think they did a great job with this car. And as you can see, going down the road, it's quiet in here. It really is. A little bit of wind noise, but solid feel when you're going over ripped up pavement and things like that. Very nice solid feel on how this thing rides down the road. All right, guys, let's see how this car handles in a right-hand bend here. So on throttle, nice, look at this, great feedback, gets the path. What the nice thing is that you're not gonna there's enough power to where you're not gonna just spin up the wheels and just go nowhere. Now you can swing out the back on these Genesis Coupes very easily, so don't think that you can't go do your drifting so that you could pretend that you're drift king of whatever city or state that you live in, because you can, because they're rear-wheel drive, and with the V6 you can easily do that. But it's nice to have a balanced chassis, and it felt really good. A little bit more feedback from the steering would have been great, but overall I'm very, very impressed with what this Genesis Coupe is bringing, especially 4 years old. But back on throttle, on the brakes, nice feedback from those Brembos. Look at this. Nice, super smooth. Back on throttle, and we're off. So overall, I'm telling you, very impressed with this Genesis Coupe. I'm glad I was able to find one for everybody who's been asking me for one, because they are hard to find, and if you do find one, usually they're used and abused. But this one has been well taken care of. We're gonna get back to Fitzgerald Hyundai and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great day here at Fitzgerald Hyundai. Definitely gotta thank Rob, David, and the rest of the crew getting us access. Like I said, one owner, pre-certified Genesis Coupe. Is it a sports coupe or car that needs to come back? I think 100% either Genesis needs to produce it, or Hyundai, or both of them. Is it a standout for your hard-earned money, this pre-owned sports car, sports coupe for V6 power? I think really for $21,500, there really is not a lot of options out there if you want that V6 power. And plus, I mean, a car that actually has some look to it. But if it's vehicles like these that you want to see on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raise Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Raise Rise merch. I want to give it up to Big Guns McGee. He's working that camera out here in the Florida sun. He actually has no shirt on, so all the ladies won't leave us alone. So thank you, Tom, for all that distraction. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.